Alright, we are recording. I see the file. Continuing in the Talos Principle. So I spent a lot of time in the previous part talking about how I'm not particularly caring for the analogy with the fall, with the temptation fall of Adam and Eve described in Genesis. Because if we don't, they had a nature that they could have in denying the temptation still fulfilled, but the nature in a video game is to complete, so... What the heck? Okay, that's... I don't know why I did... Oh, hang on. That does remind me. I want to try something. Turning that off. I actually forgot to turn on the gaze tracker, but I want to try having that off for the moment. There's a part of me that wonders if that may help with some of the issues I've run into. But anyway, continuing my point, my guess is I will not find out if there is an alternative to succumbing to the temptation of ascending the tower, but I'll probably have to finish both this temple and the temple in C before I can determine that. So,
I have promised you eternal life. But know that eternity may only be attained by those who serve a purpose greater than themselves. All else is decay. So it was written in the hidden words before the beginning of time.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm talking about, is he right there was describing that there is another purpose, a separate purpose that I could have. If that is in fact the case, then I will be happy. If it is not the case, I am going to have to talk about that in the story section of the review, because that would be a failing. Because like, you bring up this very clear reference, but you don't include what really makes the temptation a temptation. Starting to be prideful there, but no, just if you have no choice, if your nature is in fact to do it, to climb the tower, then how does the temptation actually make any sense? That's my question, and we'll see. I hope my concern there proves unfounded. I really do, but it's just I do recognize that it might not be. It might be exactly what happens, because that happened. It's a video game. What do you expect? It's supposed to complete everything, so an option not to is unusual, but we'll see. So I had to clear my throat after getting a drink of water. Okay. I'm just... Do I want to say it? It is... Well, yeah, because of the philosophical question here. So, as I've mentioned I've mentioned many things. I do write stories, and I do concern myself with some amount of philosophy when figuring out certain characters. Like, I have one. I have no idea when I will get to that story, where although an aspect of this is actually present in the current story, I'm still working through editing passes on. The idea that he does not celebrate his birthday. That he intentionally doesn't celebrate his birthday, but the reason why is because he only feels it will be appropriate for him to celebrate that when he has reached a point that it can be the last one. That once he has found himself that satisfied with life, that is when he will now celebrate his birthday, celebrate his life, because, like, yes, I have achieved everything I could possibly have wished for. I am thoroughly happy and satisfied with it. So the idea here that it's like somebody being okay with death, it's like, no, I definitely do believe that you could have a character like that. But the other, the who wouldn't wish for immortality, I have another character, and by the way, both these characters are in some ways based on me. Like, I have a stronger personal connection to these characters than some others that I've written. And I did in fact make the guy immortal, and I haven't fully gotten there yet. It's going to be in a different story with him, where the immortality actually weighs on him very heavily. And he doesn't necessarily like it, because he does recognize... think of it this way. I am talking right now using American English of late 20th, early 21st century, right? If you are immortal, and if you're somebody not that great at language, there would come a time when there would be no one you can talk to. Okay? It's like, American English could still... Well, yes, American English could still survive for centuries, but it may still reach a point that you can't actually communicate with somebody because it's changed so much. Like, ultimately, an aspect of immortality is a guarantee of loneliness, because you may not be able to continue a connection with people, with different people. Language is one example of that. And there's also, it's like, you will see everyone die around you. The people closest to you will expire, and there's nothing you will be able to do about that. Family members, you'd also have to watch die. Well, not necessarily watch, but, you will be there to bury them. There's another point. I'm just trying to remember exactly what it was. Concerning, how immortality is really, when you actually think it out, it is terrible. It would be a curse for many people. What was it, though? Okay, that's the closest. It's another one of those. Stop that. Wait, what? No, that is it. Okay, I am very confused now. Or, oh no, okay, I get it. It's just like that other place. Oh no, that does completely reset it. Damn. Okay, well, I guess the timing is sufficient here. Or maybe not. Alright, here, let's adjust it then. pebble doesn't have to be older. A frog is delicious. I guess some trees could be. See, that's actually, the funny thing is that's not true. I'll go with this one. I mean, seriously, plant life is freakish, okay? There's some really weird plants out there that are intimidating. Like, I mean, I should remember more of them, but like, the tumbleweed, that famous thing from so many westerns, those things are freaky, okay? Like, literally, this is like a bush that grows and will just decide to cut off its own roots. So it will now be tumbling like that, and I don't remember if it drops seeds while doing this, but it does that and hibernates for potentially decades, okay? Like, these things can be like 90 years old, and then decide, okay, the conditions are right, I will regrow my roots and plant itself down, okay? That is freakish, and that is... I could see an argument that no, some plants do have a kind of consciousness. There is an awareness of the world around them. So yeah, and it's like I'm not. No, I am not willing to say that a tree is not conscious. Okay, I am not, because there are weird, freakish plants. I'm sorry, that is true. There's a part of me that wants to say that just for the joke, but I'm also just trying to predict what it would say. I'm rational. Well, technically, a frog can still be rational. I mean, using, plant life even. Plants, you could argue, are rational. Like, I will... Part of it is, I'm not necessarily sure I would say that they are... Trees might not be conscious as we know them, but there is something... They are not just unconscious. They are not just passive. They are not just obeying chemical reactions. They are more than that. Okay? They really are. But they do seem to make choices. Like, they will try to grow towards the sun if it is a plant that needs that. I could believe that some plants don't need as much sunlight, so they might not be as aggressive in that, but it's like, that is a rational choice. Frogs as well, any animal will also make rational choices, something that will benefit its survival in one way or another. So, no, a frog, you could argue, is still going to be rational. Self-aware, though, I could see it trying to argue that, well, how do you know a frog isn't self-aware? How do you know a frog doesn't have feelings? So, screw it, let's do it. Be difficult with it. Oops. Going back a bit, how I talked about the one game with the all is one kind of stuff. This is kind of this kind of fits in that, with the whole animals are every bit as valuable or pointless as human beings. All is one, but also that there are some things that people are capable of that frogs are not. So it's like there are still distinctions, and one can be above another, but the value is all still there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with agreed. But it's just, as I was just saying, I can see an argument that animals are rational, that they do act rationally for themselves. But if you mean rational as in they pre-plan things, that they put together logical, abstract concepts to plan things out, okay, no, I'll grant, that's fair. Animals don't necessarily have that. Or not all of them do. Self-awareness... that one's weird, because I know they've done some tests where it's like they are able to recognize, sometimes animals will recognize themselves in mirrors, other times they don't, and sometimes that's used as a measure of self-awareness. But then it's also they have... Crap, I'm trying to remember the completeness of this. So, they will actually be able to, like, put people in a box. Well, like, you're sitting in a chair at a table and a box in front of you with mirrors that, like, show a reflection of your hand. And they can actually get you to, like, think the reflection is your hand. It's kind of weird, but it's also been, I'm pretty sure it's also been used for treatment of people that, like, have phantom pain because of an amputation, so they're missing a hand. But they can use this so that you start believing that the reflection of a hand is your real hand, and actually helps with dealing with the phantom pain then. So, we can trick self-awareness even. I mean, it's like, there's a lot of stuff here where it is just, it's not as simple as as some of this suggests. Yes. Yeah, a little eccentric. That's me. Now I'm also just trying to think, if I were to try to apply some of its reasoning to a character that I create, especially those that I do have conversations with, because I have had conversations with some of these characters where, like, they will ask me questions. I was like, literally, one of the books had a climax on a Saturday. The end of the book was Monday. I didn't have a plan for Sunday. They asked me. The characters asked me, what do we do on Sunday? It's like, all right. I end up writing 3 new chapters just to satisfy that question. So, arguably, they are rational. The fact that they can ask a question like that indicates self-awareness. And there is a kind of consciousness to them in that they do have an awareness around them, and they do react to things. So does that make these invented characters persons? I'm gonna go with this one, yeah. I mean, it's like, what do you... See, this is one of those issues where I don't know what they're trying to work towards here. Because, I was like, is a tree conscious? I could see an argument that, even with the stuff I know, was like, no, it isn't conscious, but, as I said, they aren't passive. Trees are not necessarily passive. They're not necessarily just basic chemistry. Okay? They are more involved in that. There is some awareness there. So there is a kind of consciousness present. But they don't have neurons, so that wouldn't be it. Beyond the laws of physics, I guess in a way that, you know, it is more than chemistry, which chemistry you can, in extreme ways, say is under physics. No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't say that a tree has soul. So consciousness is another word for the soul. No, I would not say that. And is a complex functional system. So it's like these are in... Oh, that's actually what they're doing. So this is a counter to that. This one is a counter to that. I'll go with this one. But yeah, and it's just... It is weird. I mean, for one thing, as I was saying, that there are indeed plant species that do exhibit a kind of consciousness. So, like, there does seem to be some awareness and decision making based on that awareness that isn't just basic chemistry. So, but if you mean human consciousness, our awareness and the ability to abstract the world around, that is very key. Abstraction of knowledge and observation is something that is largely limited to humans. That does seem to be an aspect of superintelligence that you do not typically find in other species. But it isn't the defining characteristic to superintelligence either. Okay, so I actually do want to talk about that, but I'm sorry, I gotta shut this down. This is so freaking annoying. There. Okay. So there is it has a name, I'm certain. I just cannot remember what it is. But there is a theory that evolution is true, but that it doesn't occur just by random mutations. That's just like, oh, we got lucky. But that it does in fact happen sometimes in bursts and does seem to have a level of direction to it. Not necessarily in a intelligent design kind of way, though it would allow that to be open, but that you may see, even within a species, evolution being directed within that species. And that it's... So, because when you think about it, the idea that it is solely random errors, as it puts it here, that lead to success, it's like, how does that make any... How does that seem reasonable? Because... I'm just trying to think, what would be a fair example there? A fair way to try to explain that it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. I mean, I guess one way would just... Well, no, because that would kind of... Well, no, that wouldn't. What about any feature that developed... Oh, I thought I started that. The stopwatch, so I knew how long I've been going. What about any feature that develops that doesn't actually seem to assist in survival? That is... I mean, there are some things like that. I mean, the appendix would be one example. That could actually be one. Balding. Why do people go bald? Especially when you consider that some go bald. Like, I started going bald in my 20s. I still actually have most of my hair, but it's clearly thinned. It's like, is there any advantage to that? Why would that happen? Why is that something that has been going on for millennia? So, I mean, that would imply that there should be some advantage tied to that. Or is this just... Because an issue with it being solely random, then you expect only the successful random mutations to endure. Well, I guess it may just be those that don't fail, but even then you have some that, like congenital heart defects and such, where those are not from random mutations necessarily, but they are passed on genetically, and yet those are not weeded out. And you also have some things that they, like, what's the technical term for having 6 fingers to the hand? I don't remember the name of that. But that actually has gone back and forth between being a dominant or being a recessive gene. So say, how do you explain that as well? So it's there is weirdness to it, but it's still, even if you don't necessarily agree with or ascribe to, and I don't necessarily agree with it myself, but that, and I wish I could remember the name of the theory, that evolution can actually happen in bursts and can be apparently directed within the species, where it is to a goal. So it isn't just to a slow, random process. This is actually, well, for one thing, it is not an active process. That's exactly in the theory that I was talking about. Exactly would say no, it could be, or that it is if you completely ascribe to the theory. But there are false statements in the second one. That, to be fair, they may not know this, but one, like the more effectively than others, is more likely to pass on that information to its descendants. They've actually done this research, which it's just mathematical stuff. I don't remember if they actually had tested, but I think it was Genghis Khan? Or was it Attila the Hun? I don't remember. But one of them, very well known for, while pillaging, raiding, and conquering, raped a tremendous number of women, and so had a prodigious number of children. But they found that if you actually work out the probabilities, there is no greater likelihood of his genetic information surviving so many generations as a traditionally monogamous man and his descendants. That it doesn't become any more likely. That because the likelihood of them dying out and the way that the genetic information is mixed through normal procreation anyway, that in fact you don't see that. So that would mean then that even if, let's say it was Genghis Khan, even if he had something that made him especially good at surviving then, that doesn't necessarily imply, because remember, this is over generations that we're talking about here, many generations. That doesn't necessarily mean that he will survive. You can still have other genetic information survive and endure better. Because it's also, what about, hypothetical, Roman Empire, very powerful, let's say they did not have certain genetic advantages, but the Carthaginians, although that would have been Roman Republic, but let's say the Carthaginians did, but the Romans defeated them. And supposedly salted the land. I mean, it's like that, I want to say they're actually not sure that happened, but it was still like they wiped out Carthage. The Romans wiped out Carthage. Well, then, obviously that would also imply then that things did not successfully pass on to the descendants. So it is not just as simple as this. And that you don't always see a genetic advantage passed down for various reasons, or that it is more effectively passed down just because it is a more desirable genetic code. And also the individuals experience no significant genetic change during their lifetime, so that's significant may actually be very important there. Because there are actually genes that do express differently based on your situation. I know that depression is actually one of those. Like, gene expression for a depressed person does actually differ. So, I don't remember which gene it is, but it is one of those weird and even awkward situations where what? I am a little confused here. Okay, what was it, just doing that? Okay. But yeah, so there is actually gene expression that does vary based on the present day, I guess would be a way to put that. That is not just, oh, whatever your genetic code is, that's what you are. It's not as simple as that. Huh. Okay. I mean, I guess this may work. I just don't know. Oh yeah, the range does seem to be sufficient. Now, I will grant one thing that I do not know about that gene expression with depression is if that is something that could be passed down. But it is, you will actually see.
Cease!
Okay.
In the time of your ancestors, there were those who did not choose the path of faith. You do not need to fear their ghosts. Fear only that you may become like them.
Okay. But yeah, and I'm not sure if that is something that can be passed down, but it is something that it is measurable within a person. So that right there is a significant thing. Oh. That's like not even all that different. There. Grab this. I knew I'd need it one way or another. But yeah, it's. But to be fair, I read too much, and my memory is too good for some of this stuff too. Where it's like, you know, I can do that. Well, actually, kind of bullshit. Which I mean, I hope is helpful as far as, you know, like when I'm writing stories that I'm able to include this additional information or at least apply it. But it is just, there is far greater nuance to some of this than I think a lot of people realize, for one reason or another. But it is still, well, I don't know, I guess some of it is annoying to me, how the how some of this is being presented as true, but and yes, that is annoying to me. Because it's like, well, I know some of the stuff is false, but some of it is you would have to have known that, so that is significant. Okay. Oh, wait. There. Okay. So I know kind of sort of what I want to do here. No, that's right. I already got that one. No, that's not. Hang on. Okay, this can work, though. Yeah, this can. There. So now I can take this one. There. And that is the reason I needed to do that was from previous... It was in the previous part, one of the previous puzzles. Okay. Nice. Okay, got everything except for that. That's fine. Except for the star.
Rejoice, child, for you have fulfilled all your tasks in this land. You have conquered all its guardians and solved all its mysteries. Thus you are appointed its master, and you may do with it as you will.
There we go. Right. And what I will is to keep going and do more. Where's 2? Oh, 2's actually next to it. We're not going back and forth like. Okay. It might
see all.
Fine.
I know all. My power knows no bounds. And yet your will is free because you were made to be free. It is the very principle of your existence, without which the trials of this world would hold no meaning. To seek salvation must be your choice.
Okay, no, it's paused because I want to save that video. There's a problem with that statement there. And it's one of those... I've already talked about the references to the fall. We have not fallen yet. We've not given into the temptation to climb the tower yet. So why is there redemption? Wait, no, that's not the term he used. But still, why is he talking about salvation? What salvation is necessary at the moment? Currently, I've done everything in accord with his designs, his desires. I meant desire more so than desire. So what is he talking about here? That there's some salvation. I mean, it's using Adam and Eve. If they had not succumbed to the temptation and stayed in Eden, there wouldn't have been a need for salvation. So what are they talking about here? I actually want to make that note. The speech talking about free will and that salvation must be a choice. I certainly understand that argument there, but at this time there is no need for salvation. So what's he talking about? Yeah. I've been obeying his will and the nature given to me / the robot, to be clear. So there is, and so have not fallen as such that salvation is needed. So what is this? What is this about? Yeah.
I keep having these dreams. Great empty cities, silent roads stretching for miles, the earth from space, all dark. Not a single light to guide me home. But if someone really came from another world, what would the earth look like to them? A wilderness? A wasteland? I don't think so. Even after thousands of years, they'd see a world shaped by our hand in every aspect of its being. They'd see the cities and the roads, the bridges, the harbors, and they would say, here lived a race of giants. These dreams, they scare me, but They also remind me that we built all of this.
On that point that she was making there, that is one thing that, like, when I was in one of the previous parts, I got an achievement uplifted for doing that. If you want to try to compare, if you want to, in one of the previous parts I talked about how it is, we do not have any evidence of any other species. Oh, that's why. Achieving superintelligence, despite the fact that, yes, the dinosaurs were many, many, many different species, but they did rule the Earth for hundreds of millions of years, one way or another, one specific species or another. We're still at best like 10, 20,000 years, okay? And there is no non-fossil record for the dinosaurs. By that I mean, there's no intentional monument. Like, the Great Pyramids are thousands of years old. They are so old, they actually would either stretch across the line of prehistory, or you could almost consider them at the hazy start of prehistory. Which, at least for me, I consider prehistory to just be the point. Prehistory would be defined as the line between prehistory and history is the line where things are now recorded. Okay, so basically language and written language such that things are recorded. Now that is hazy because not everything was necessarily recorded. And it's also, one civilization is going to be different from another. But still, the Great Pyramids are that old, and they will continue for many thousands of years to come. In fact, I could believe that the only thing that may challenge them is if the Sahara floods. Which, as I recall, it does go back and forth between times of desert and times of being very fertile. I don't remember if that involves some flooding. But it's like, as they are, these are basically artificial mountains that will probably stand for many thousands of years yet. And there can be many other things as well that will do similarly. So it is an interesting point that humanity it appears to be the only species to have existed on Earth to this point that is actually going to be able to leave a permanent, or at least very long-lasting, longer than ourselves, lasting mark on the Earth. No other species has achieved that, and that is an interesting thing to think about in some ways. But I mean, in ancient times, the astronomer, although in some ways it would have been called astrologers, they arguably were scientists, and they would have been among the closest advisors to kings. And it's not surprising, it makes a lot of sense, because they would have been tracking patterns that depend on the time of the year, which would include such things as knowing the solstices, knowing the equinoxes, which the seasons follow. So you'd be able to determine when to, when the seasons are coming and going, and therefore when to plant, when to reap, things like that. And also, when would be a good time, don't start a war right before winter, kind of thing. It's you're gonna have reduced resources, and you may also be in a climate where it's going to be much harder to do those things just because it's winter. That's fair. I just attribute the answer to that as this world has been constructed. This is the purpose. It's like this is all artificial, and so that means that certain things can simply be arbitrary. And the collecting of sigils is that. And it's like, I mean, that's also how all video games are. They're all arbitrary constructions. So you're kind of free to just do what you want. Well, you're free to have... A developer is free to basically set whatever they wish, for this is what I expect and demand of a player. Well, that's true. So, give me that. Oh, okay. Let's see. By the way, while I am arguing with the game in some ways, I am still enjoying it. I am, and I do. I don't even. Yeah, it's probably in part because I do just enjoy having something to talk about. Okay. I guess I need to hit both of these, maybe? Oh, duh. Stand. Or not? Okay. I'm really not sure what the idea here is, then. Or is it... Oh! No, I didn't understand that I was supposed to put them there, that those were to be interacted with. I was thinking they were just, sitting there for me to do something with. Like interact with them normally, not like that. Okay. Huh. So... I knew that's what it was, but I needed to confirm it anyway. So I need to get both myself and this launched over there. And if I put this here and then stand on that, that should get launched. Oh boy. Oh, duh. There. I don't think I finished what I was saying, but I am enjoying that it, even though it is so often in disagreement, I am engaging with the game in this way. And some of it is disagreement, but I think it's I know that it's, I have no idea what the idea is that I have to paint. Some of it might be just by the nature of the game, they have to do certain things, state certain things. But some of it could also be, be have other purposes. And it could be that, just like some of it is the people behind the game, making the game and Crow Team weren't aware of certain things that I am aware. And it's also, this game is 9 years old. So there's also the tremendous possibility of, I just know things that were not known at that time. Okay, so that is, again, very clearly suggesting that the story of the fall with that meat. So there is a path there. Look over here at least. Okay. All right. It has to be this way then. No, even that isn't going to be enough. I think. Okay, so with these I can get to here. But okay, so one thing I need to do here. And can I actually do it here? I can't. Perfect. Well, actually, let's... I want to get them offset from each other so that I can run past them, like there will be a gap. And then I can do what I just did to get access back there, so, yeah. Well, actually, no, that won't quite work. But I do need that. Where'd it go? Ah, here it is. Okay. Okay. See, now I have the issue. I can get back there, but I still need, like, one more thing. To open up that So... I know I need that open. Okay. Maybe? No, I don't think I can. Yeah, because I have no way of hitting that one. I'm not seeing it at the moment. And yeah, the whole thing here is, yeah, I can't take it with me. I'm sorry, I just get surprised because when I hit right click, my expectation is more so that it doesn't do anything. It's just being put down without being active. There. Let me try this. Will this leapfrogging be sufficient? The only way that is from right back there, from that side. Yeah, I actually just stuck it. Got it stuck. There. Yeah, it's like I have 3 barriers. Well, no, I have a total of 4 barriers. That one, then these. If I had another... I need to figure out how I can shut down 4 barriers with 3 things. It's also a little weird why they have the key. Like, am I missing something over here? No. And I can't pick that up and pull it through. I do know that. At least I'm pretty sure I can. I am very confident I cannot. I guess I can try. No, it just seems like that's the harder thing to set up, so that's the thing I wanted to try. Yeah, so I can't grab that. Because, like, just the nature of it being trapped there, it makes me wonder a little bit. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Wait. That is true. I never really checked what all can I do from up here. There. Alright. Let's offset these things, which technically gets me right back to where I was. There. But I don't know, maybe it'll be a little bit different, a little bit better. Doesn't say. I just had a funny thought cross my mind. In theory, if I jammed one of those, could I put one of these on top? But I don't know what use that would be. And I could only do it on one over here, but even then, I can't. I don't have a way to get over there. Because it still is 4 gates, 3 ways to open. Well, 3 mechanisms, 3 jammers. And there's one gate that can only be opened by, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Well, no. We'll take it this way. Like, this is the only one that can open this. Just full stop. There is nothing else that can. Now, if I had a shortcut some way that I could get back to here. But I've not observed any. Man, I really just cannot figure this out. I mean, unless there's some functionality with the jammers that I just don't know. Guess I can try looking. And I do not want to look it up. I am sorely tempted to, but I do not want to look it up. I can zoom? I didn't even realize that. It is also weird, the need for the keys, because it does just seem to me like that the keys totally irrelevant. Having that gate there is totally well. I guess the only thing it does technically help direct you to this way, but
If the answer does not come to you, do
shut
not
up.
despair. The worlds of my garden are many.
I'm solving this. Shut up. Yeah, I am just gonna look at. I really cannot think of it. Like I just genuinely do not see any path here for it. Okay. But yeah, the central jammer can go with you. Gee, that's so helpful. Oh, yeah, no, okay. Yeah. It's... I know why I couldn't think of it. It's because I always tend to think of solutions for things like this that involve, the solution being permanent. The solution is not permanent, as you'll see soon enough. There, I need to do the whole thing, throwing these things off. So it is basically, I got all the pieces to the puzzle, but I didn't solve it because I just, as I said, I think about the permanent solutions. So the fact that was not the case was a problem. Yeah. I think. Right? Wait. Okay, that there. There. I think I think I got it figured out. Just you do that. Yep. Now shut that one down. So and this is... Yeah. So now this is, because this one can be covered in that way, can be redundant there. But it's like I said, I don't think about it with non-permanent solutions. Because this is clearly non-permanent. I now no longer have a means of going back. I also don't need it, but it's still, I don't think of it that way. I don't try to think of puzzles having such non-permanent solutions. Alright, so I don't think that... Oh, it is everything. Oh, but you have got something for me. Am I gonna confuse Milton again? Sure. I'm not sure if I want to go with completely beyond the laws of physics, but I'm not sure how much this... See, this is the whole... When it's text, or just when it is you have such constrained ability to respond... constrained abilities to respond, it gets very tricky. Because there might be some elements of it that are not beyond the laws of physics, but parts of it certainly are. I can definitely see that. The weakness here, and I'm gonna go with consciousness is mysterious by nature, is that there's the assumption that all physical events are exclusively caused by other physical events. Like that would be the way to attack this, that it's sort of a induction idea here, where n leads to n plus 1. That's what we have written here, but it's assuming that 1 leads to 2. So it's assuming the initial case. The inductive case, that reasoning is fine. But in like, how can happiness physically make you jump for joy? The trigger to jump would be physical, but what is making you happy might not be physical. Yeah, it gets violated, but yeah. That is false. Because, I mean, like, conservation of energy, like, this is self-contradictory, because you're talking about the conservation of energy. Yeah, okay. When you jump for joy, there's less total energy. That's not how that works. Conservation of energy is that then the amount of energy before and after any event is the same. It's just been transformed. So, like, this is a false statement here. It has it wrong. Based on what it itself says. Law of conservation of energy is the foundation of modern physics. It states that the total energy in the universe never changes. Now compare a universe where you jump for joy and one where you decide not to. The former has more total energy in it. Where? Because the energy for you to jump wasn't caused by something physical. But where are you getting that it's an energy? I'm saying, and it's also your... it's also poorly written, because it's the happiness that would be this quote-unquote energy that's different. Because if it's just, you're equally happy in both, but in one you decide to jump, the other you don't, total energy is the same. If it's, the issue that they have here is is happiness and energy that makes it different. But notice, that's not an option here. But it is, like, this is in fact flawed. Okay, it truly is. And, no, I'm comfortable with this. I mean, legitimately, I can give you quotes of how we've had physics wrong before, okay? That's very easy for me to do. This is very easy to explain. Whereas consciousness is a concept that has survived, like, the physics being proved wrong. So, yeah.
Do not think I know not the deceiver slithering through the hidden words. His wisdom is hollow and born of despair. Do not let him tangle you in his webs of delusion. Have faith in me, and his petty illusions will fall away like nightmares in the morning's light.
Okay, so that is one thing I will grant that I wasn't fully aware of until now. That the terminal is, in effect, the snake, is the serpent. And that, you know, it is trying to be exceedingly linear, I guess would be the way to put it. That's like, no. The laws of physics are this, therefore we must follow them. And anything outside the laws of physics is something that cannot be explained and therefore it cannot exist. Which, there are some ways that makes sense, but it's also, there are other ways in which that is faulty. I think it was Einstein, but I've not been able to find the quote attributed to him, that if there's something inherently immeasurable, it cannot exist. And the quote, I think it was Einstein, it might not have been, but it was in reference to the luminosity ether. Because it used to be, the belief was, light was a wave. Waves propagate through some medium, but light travels through a vacuum. So the air cannot be that medium, and certainly it can't be a solid or liquid. So what are you left with? Well, they're like, well, it's a wave. It must have some sort of medium. We'll call this medium the luminous ether and try continuously to narrow down what it is that exists. And eventually you got to the point where it's like every attempt to explain it had been disproven. And it was people like, well, no, it has to exist because, you know, we can see light and light's a wave. And so the response then that something that cannot be measured, because every means to measure it showed it didn't exist. So people being like, no, you just can't measure it. It's like, if you can't measure it, it doesn't exist. But that is also faulty because there are still mysteries where it's like, you can't explain these. Now, that doesn't exclude the possibility of explaining it eventually, but at the same time, there can be some mysteries that you will never be able to explain, and it's like you do need to reconcile yourself to that, which the terminal doesn't get that. But I could also see an argument that the Elohim character in this is too much on the other side, where don't necessarily try to understand the mysteries, don't necessarily seek out understanding them. It's like, that's also faulty, but it's... We'll see, though, how... Because Elohim is still itself mysterious. Seems to represent the serpent trying to tempt you to be highly reasonable, as in based on geometric logic and laws of physics. However, it has flaws in its logic. Essentially, they are straw men. essentially straw men arguments. Essentially, it uses straw man arguments where it tries to present a weakness in some statement in one place, but the weakness, if it is present, is actually in another that you cannot address by virtue of video game conversation design. Yeah. It's the opposite side. Allowing for, if not insisting on faith. Yeah, I'm changing a little bit of the formatting from them. But yeah, Elohim is on the opposite side, allowing for, if not insisting on faith. Regardless of logic. We'll see how this competition develops. At least one thing about that, well, true, some of that has been from the pastures, but it is... This makes me a bit more comfortable with how I am challenging some of the stuff that's presented here. Especially with some of the terminal stuff where it's like, no, I disagree with this, you have flaws here. It's like, this to me, this interaction that I just had with the terminal tells me that it is in fact something you're supposed to disagree with at times. That it is a cause for philosophical argument. Which does make me wonder then about some of the praise that this game gets. Where people like, the philosophy stuff there is so interesting, so engaging. And I'm gonna say, I know it's arrogant what I'm gonna say. I'm still gonna say it. I do wonder how much of that is from people of a lesser philosophical mind than myself. And by that I mean there are some people that, like some of the arguments that I put forward, even in this video, where it's like, no, what you're saying, that isn't quite right. I have certain knowledge, or I have certain experience, or even certain training. I did take a philosophy class better than a decade ago, I grant. Also a psychology class, again, better than a decade ago. But it's like, that might make me better able to identify the weaknesses here that others might not. Others might just accept this and be like, oh yeah, I really should just be going with laws of physics in all ways. But I mean, it's also, like I said, I can pull out a text. I have a 1927 physics textbook that will I can quote from it things about laws of physics. Like, it is fully, nope, light is a wave. That is wrong. We know that is wrong. So the idea of renouncing physics, a lot of people would renounce that book. No, that's not true anymore. This is the true one. It's like the modern textbook, that's the true one. It's like, yeah, in 100 years, that may be similarly renounced. So it's like, I might not be the ideal audience for some of this, but at the same time, maybe I am. You're somebody who can have these arguments with the game. Because that is a core of philosophy, is argument. Respectful argument. And it's, because an argument, it isn't necessarily... And this is also something I think a lot of people don't understand. The purpose of an argument is not to win. It is to learn. It is to understand. So you can argue with somebody, and it's not that you get them to agree with you. It's not that they get you to agree with them. At the end, you just need to understand each other. Your positions need not change. And I also will admit, I despise the whole we'll just agree to disagree. It's like, no, that's giving up. If you can understand the other, but still disagree with them, that's in a way a good thing, especially if you came in not understanding them. And it is distressing even, and disturbing, how it does seem that some people view arguments are something solely to win in such a way that many will just reject trying to understand another person's argument. It's like, this does happen. There's many charged debates, charged topics, where people will just like, no, I don't even hear what you are saying. I'm just declaring you wrong, myself right, and then going about it. It's like, no, that is not an argument. That, well, at least not in the traditional sense, not in the philosophical sense. So it's, I am gaining an understanding of it, of what is being presented here. Obviously, the game cannot gain an understanding of me, but it still is. This is actually potentially part of how it's supposed to go. It might just be different from a lot of people that are like, this is such an amazing game, because, as I said, some of the stuff I know, I mean, it's like the whole story stuff in general. I can be a lot harsher on some games for their stories because I write stories. I mean, it's like, I'm very versed, kind of. I don't have a literary background, but I am a literary. I do write stories, so it's kind of weird, but it's like I have the experience that I am able to challenge stories or identify weaknesses that others might not. So it's just, it might be like that. Oh boy. The above points about the terminal and Elohim. Yeah, the Milton Learning Assistant. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. Give me some confidence that my arguing with the game's philosophy as presented. Yeah, you have to watch the playthrough videos. Sorry, I'm probably gonna have to actually put that into the review somehow, into the written review. Is allowed if not actually intentional. And legitimately, to me, I do consider that a good thing. Okay, and the fact, by the way, that it hasn't crashed at a load, I'll bet it's actually because of the gaze tracker. And I think I've seen that in other games as well, where it just, for whatever reason, enabling that, oh no, I don't have everything for it yet. Yeah, almost there. Although, aha, perfect. I don't recall noticing those. Wait, is this? Yes, this is. Okay. I just completely lost my train of thought on what it was because I started playing the game again. Okay. So I am kind of curious what, because I'm EL here, and I'm assuming that Elohim is based on that. I'm just curious how they're going to get there. I find this an unusual footnote. It's clearly an ancient text, and it's like, oh yeah, see, the translator's inserting his own beliefs into the text. It's like, I mean, what do you mean here? I mean, it's like, because the believing in the 5 elements is very possibly what the scribe or whoever originally wrote it felt, or is it soul is, well, no, so is the soul of man. That still kind of follows with, I don't know what it is saying here is inserted. I don't know. It seems like a weird footnote. And since you're not presented with everything. I mean, those aren't exactly the best reasons to justify war, but I mean, yes, there is intent behind many efforts to justify, to actually justify a war. That it's not just you're doing it because you want to fight. There needs to be an actual reason. I also suspect the simulation is degrading. Well, this is a problem, isn't it? Yeah. What? Oh, wait, what? Where the heck did that come from? How's that there? Okay, so the most important one is that. But I have no idea how I... Oh, wait, no, never mind. What am I talking about? I know exactly how to get to it. I keep forgetting I can just stand on these things. Oh, son of a... Is that it? That you need to, like, connect to other things? Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, I had an itch. Didn't realize this was a thing.
The counsel of my blessed messengers must be earned.
Okay. Huh. I didn't know. Now I know. Okay, so... And I also didn't realize I can't actually turn these things off by doing that. So... okay. I think I kinda sorta get the idea here. Where am I trying to go? What am I trying to do here? Okay, so I need to get here with... okay, now I see. So I need to break that connection. Got it. I just do that, and that does kill that. Give me that. That does actually suggest that it might be a way over here. And I do have a second one of these, so maybe. I'm not sure what this accomplishes, though. If anything, maybe it doesn't actually accomplish anything. I just know I need to somehow break that line. So I can do that, but once I move, then it'll start working. It would be different if I could get to that. If I could get to that, then I'd be in good shape. Or am I partially overthinking it? Like, can I just... terrible idea. What the hell? Why not try it anyhow? I just want to see what is... Okay, that really doesn't get it moving too far. Nope. So basically the trouble I'm having right now is I do not know what all the pieces are to this puzzle. Because I know I need to somehow break that line. There is no path that I can see doing so. If I can get to that, I might be able to do something. Or if I... Oh, yeah, if I can get up here, I could do something as well. But I don't see anything that would enable that. I also find it odd that that one is elevated, by the way. But it's, I only have these two going up. And the fact that, you know, once it's up like that, you really have no way up on top of it is also quite frustrating. I just... It's not going to do anything really, but... So in theory, if I could find a way into this, I have a way out. I have no idea how you could possibly do that, but... that there's nothing that literally that's the only thing it seems you might be able to get to that would be of any substance. I mean, I guess it's also possible that I am overthinking it in terms of, come on. Okay, so boy. Yeah, no, that is an answer, and it's just... It's akin to what I mean with the whole, I do aim for permanent solutions, in that, stable ones as well. So the fact that this one has a certain instability is problematic. Now, in theory, oh boy, if I can figure out a way to get up, I should be able to get that star over there, because if I can get up, then I can connect some stuff. Actually, yeah, what is that? Okay. And just out of curiosity. Huh. Kind of interesting, actually. I really want to look it up, because I just cannot fathom what it could be. This... Wait, what? That can't be right. Didn't I come from up this way? Oh, okay, it's just further down. Yeah, that's right. Or... No, I don't recall having done this one. I just missed it earlier. Okay, let's... launch me all the way over. Where did they land, by the way? Oh, they both land back here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way to just run that. What the hell is this then? I mean, this is just this temple. No, not even this temple. This section is really hard, at least for me. It still launches it all the way over. I'm just gonna look. I'm truly at a loss. Wait. That's not it. Hang on. Eagle's Nest. Okay. Just looking at the previous one. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I really obvious once you see it, but I don't think in terms of dropping stuff. And also, in my defense, I would say the game hasn't really told you that you can do this either. There. It is also, since I was seeing it there. It was this one, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Okay, I see what it's talking about. No, take it with me. I'm looking at what it says for getting the star. actually hang. Well, no, that may not matter. Although that is also true, so. We'll just get this shut down as well. Do that so you can come around. Oh wait, I screwed it up technically. Yeah. Supposed to take that with me. Hang on. Okay. That's right. Oh wait, no. It's... Wait, no, I do need that on that, don't I? Oh, no I don't. Okay. So this is just how to get the star, and it's... Even though, yes, I know looking at guides isn't really helpful, isn't really great, at the same time, seeing that and then actually doing it, it's like, okay, so now I'm hopefully going to be better prepared in the future and not need to look. Okay, so there is still something to get. Over here. I think that's the last one, though. Yeah. And I will be stopping after this. It's getting late. Sunshot. I don't know, but I'm just gonna put one there right now, just in case. Okay. I had to remember from the other puzzle. The whole you drop while in the air, which does suggest then that if I had actually done this first, I may have not needed to look it up. Maybe. If nothing else, that may have gotten me to carry it with me, but I don't know. Let's... Yep. What is this thing? I don't really know. I will need it for here. And here. It looks like I'm gonna need it for... Oh no, I won't need it for 6. Won't need it for 7 either. Oh, and I forgot about the The paint thing. Alright. There was something into my mind to try or to talk about, but not there now. Alright. Yeah. I mean, it's a good place to stop anyway. Okay, so remember about... Stop the replay buffer. Remember about the ability to carry objects when launched and to drop them while flying. I mean, legitimately, that is something that... Because that's been used in other games as well, but it legitimately is something that I will just forget. Oh yeah, that's an option. So that I'm not really defending the fact that I looked it up, but it is one of those that is specifically something I do not think about in most games. And then also with the other one where it's like I always try to think of the permanent solution. So the fact that that solution was not permanent, where I had to in fact block my way back, that is again something I don't think that way. But for the majority of these puzzles, that's neither of those has been a problem. So, but it is still, I want to make that note because it's that I can expect needing to do, where I'm going to have to retrain myself to a degree. You know what, I'll even add about the other thing. Remember that sometimes the solution is not permanent / is one way. Is one way. Or rather, there can be a step in the process misspelled process, that prevents you from going back. Alright, I have been continuing to enjoy the game. Truly have been. I am still curious about how the story is going to play out. I will just bring it again because I'm looking at the notice right there. The whole why is Elohim talking about salvation when there is no apparent need for salvation. I mean, it's which that could just be bad writing. I mean, to be fair, that's legitimately what it could be, just bad writing. The other stuff though, where it is the between the terminal and between Elohim, the two very distinct views there, and that reality, to a degree, is somewhere in the middle. Although, in then I'm not sure if that's accurate. I think you could say reality transcends, at least the terminal's arguments. Elohim hasn't really presented much in the way of arguments. But, it's still, you could say reality transcends it, but it's like, if the terminal is meant to be a representation of the serpent that identifies the devil, what is one of the more fundamental aspects of the devil? It's to divide. It is actually to sow division. So it is to try to separate you from other things. So it is trying to give you things to separate you from what Elohim is telling you. Or just what you yourself believe. So it's like, it does still satisfy that, but, yeah, it is, it will be interesting to see how some of that goes. But it's also interesting how the terminal is cloaked in it's withholding your administrative privileges because you need to prove you are a person. So it's like you need to succeed, you need to achieve its goals in order to gain that, which does present an interesting problem, because if you do identify that the terminal is in fact the voice of evil, then you need to achieve the goal of evil in order to have this thing that you may or may not need. Even. So, and I actually am going to make a note of that. It is interesting how the terminal challenges you with various philosophical questions in order to, because you will only get admin privileges. I'm misspelling that. It's annoying me. To the system, by proving you are a person, but if the terminal represents evil / the devil, then that means you must achieve the goal of evil in order to have this privilege. And that is an interesting conundrum. Assuming privileges are necessary, which they might not be. Alright, that's it. I'll be stopping this now. And yeah, the fact it didn't crash, and this is the first time that I've had the gaze tracker off the entire time, I am quite confident that that is the issue. That there was something about its interaction there. Well. Alright, see you next time.